Hi, thank you for joining me. Hi, good evening. How you doing today? Yay, you're the first to join us today. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to Parenting O'Clock. Yeah, it's Parenting O'Clock. Okay, I'm trying to use the dual. Okay, thank you for joining me today. Yay, thank you so much. It's Parenting O'Clock. Oh, welcome. Thank you, Diva J. Kale. Then, okay, thank you so much. Yes, it's another Parenting O'Clock. Please let's hold on for a few parents to join. So, how are you doing today? Please, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please let me know. Oh, very clear. Thank you. Yes, it's Parenting O'Clock. And today's Q&A session. We have Q&A session every last Thursday of the month where we discuss any questions you want to ask or contributions you want to make. Yes, we do that every last Thursday of the month. So, who is online? Join us for this amazing discussion today. Yes. It's Parenting O'Clock. Yay, thank you. Thank you for joining me. So let's start. Yes. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, sis. Thank you for joining me. Who else is online? Oh, two people just okay. Thank you for joining me today. Please let me know if you can hear me. Okay, so let's dive into our conversation for today. Yes, this is Parenting O'Clock. It's a forum where we discuss parenting and everything that surrounds parenting. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much, sis. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me today. So this is Parenting O'Clock. It's a forum for parents where we talk about parenting, where we'll equip ourselves with the right knowledge to be of great advantage to our children. Yeah, do you want to? I'm seeing a request. Do you want to join me? Yes, it's Q&A session anyway. So if you want to join me, I would love to have that. Okay. A request. So if you want to join me, please let me know. It's Q&A session, so it's meant to be interactive. So if you want to join me, let me know. Please let me know even in the comment section if you're willing to join. I'm trying to accept, but it seems maybe Instagram is not allowing that. So yes, it's Parenting O'Clock, a forum where we talk about everything around parenting, because I know parenting it's no joke, it's hard work. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining today. So, like I was saying, this is Parenting O'Clock. It's a forum where we talk about parenting and everything that surrounds parenting. Parenting is hard work. Yes, it's hard. So, so there is a need for us to equip ourselves as parents with the right tool, with the right knowledge to become an advantage to our children. And like I will always say, everyone out there is a product of who raised them. You and I were a product of who raised us, whether we like it or not. Yes. So, and definitely our children is going to be a product of who we are, what we've modeled to them, what we're going to be modeling to them. And it's just like a parents is like a feedback of what we've been doing, who we are. And at times as parents, I realize that we fight it because we see our children doing back to us what we were struggling with maybe during our childhood, and we fight them, we want to correct them. So it's a lot of work, it's hard work, so it's no joke. And that is why this forum is out there to be of great support to us on our journey. So if I haven't had the chance to meet you, I'm Olabisi Ajayi, the founder of Conscious Parenting Academy. And yes, this platform is there to support us, to equip us with the right tool to give our best to this journey. And like I will always say, I'm advocating for those in your care to please equip yourselves with knowledge, learn, how to what you know on your journey, and give this journey your best. So today is Q&A session. We have Q&A session every last Thursday of the month of Parenting O'Clock. So please, if you have any questions, before we go into the question I have at hand already, if you have any question that you think you want to ask, if it's as regards discipline that we want to talk about today as well, please let me know. You can drop it in the comment section, or as well drop it in the question box if you don't want to put it in the comment section. So please, if there's any question or you want to join me live, please let me know. You can send a request. I will gladly accept that. So I'm trying to bring in some people as well. So please, if you want to join me, let me know. If you have any question, let me know. Today is Q&A. Is there any question you want to ask? How has your journey been as parents? Yeah, I'm waiting for our responses. Please let me know, how's the journey been for you? You know, when I started my journey, I will always say I had struggles when I started, because I just wanted to control a child. I just wanted them to obey and just keep obeying. But I realized that there is a lot of struggles when you're trying to make your child just to obey you, and not trying to listen to your child, or not trying to work on your emotions as parents. So, and I will tell you for free, parenting with knowledge and parenting consciously will be of a great help to you on your journey. So please, if you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section. So I have a question. I was looking for the person that asked the question. She hasn't joined yet. So how do I discipline my child effectively? You know, we've been saying don't eat your child, don't yell at your child. So how else can we discipline these children? And yes, of a truth, you need to raise a disciplined child. But I want to ask us, raising a disciplined child, is it through eating? Or what do we see to eating a child? What is your take on eating a child or yelling at a child? Does it really work? I know we have the Bible gurus that will say, the word of God says, foolishness abounds in the heart of a child, but the rod of discipline takes it far away, like that. So I know we quote scriptures a lot. So, but what's your take on eating a child or yelling at a child? Please let me know in the comment section. What do you think? What's your take on it? Is it really okay? Thank you so much for this response. He said it doesn't work for every child. Okay, thank you so much for that response. It doesn't work for every child. So does that mean we should some child we can use it? Or I really want to understand. Yes, it doesn't work for every child. So how do we? Okay, I'm seeing another question in the comment section. Okay, so I will take that later. So it doesn't work for every child. Of a truth, yes. You know, at times I've seen parents said, I was raised in a way, so I'm going to do the same thing. And I've come to realize that on this journey, even when you have a twin, each of these children differs. They are not the same. You're not raising the same child, and you can't afford to raise them the same way. And when you think you survived how you were raised, I was beaten. You know, some people will tell you I was beaten, so that was what helped my brain to reset. They were giving me resetting. There's a way parents put it just to package how they were being abused anyways. So what I'm saying here is what works for a child, just like what we have in the comment section, doesn't work for another child. But generally, even as for all children, I would say you eating a child, yelling at a child, shouldn't be, shouldn't be, shouldn't, is not what we should try to raise a child with, regardless of who the child is, regardless of who we are raising. Some children are auditory learners, some children are visual learners, some children their love language is words of affirmation, and when you try to yell at them or you try to correct them in an abusive way, it does have a lot of effect on them. Okay, let me say this. Some children can take it as correction, but some become God bless you. But yes, I love this comment. Yes, some children takes that as correction. But of a truth, one thing I have found is, let me briefly tell you a story of my first two sons. Like I said, I started this journey without having the right knowledge, the right tools in raising children. And there's something I will always say, that the reason why we have struggles on this journey is because we weren't prepared for this journey. It's just like you trying to raise a cat, you're trying to have a pet, raise a dog. There is a need for you to understand how dogs behave, how to train a dog. You need to understand how to raise dog, how to communicate to a dog. So how come as parents, we just want to go on this journey of parenting? We just want to assume the position without being trained on how to raise children. There is a way to raise children. And like I was saying, when I started my journey, I just wanted the children to just cooperate, to just obey the rules. And oftentimes I realized that they weren't the problem. It's all maybe I wasn't in the mood or something. I wasn't pleased with something, so I pass whatever I was passing through down to the children by just eating. Or well, I really didn't yell, but I was a fast finger, and I really celebrate that. Like, you have parents rejoicing that I don't take nonsense, but of a truth. And having compared the two, experiencing the two sides, where you have to parent consciously, mindfully, and where you have to parent just the way you feel by impulse, there is a lot of big difference. So how do you know a child to uh, correct with maybe with a rod or yell at a child? But what I will say is, and what I have found working, having worked with parents and also on my journey as a parent, no child deserves to be yelled at. Let's take, for instance, as parents, is there any time you feel it's okay for maybe your spouse, or it's okay for a friend to yell at you? Is there any time that is ever okay to do that? Or is there any time that it's ever okay for someone to just eat you for no reason? Even while you were growing up, there is never a time for uh, someone to yell at us or someone to eat us. So, and that is the same way with our children. There is never any of them that deserves to be yelled at. There is never any one of them that deserves to be beaten. Because at times when we look at what really caused this, I want to discipline my child, my child, they need to be disciplined. Where I think discipline with misconstrued discipline with punishment. I've seen so far that discipline is teaching a child, teaching. And like I said earlier, we fight our children for giving back to us what we have unconsciously modeled to them. That is what I've seen. Because when you let's look at it as parents. Okay, maybe I should ask this question. What do we really eat our children for? Like I said, today is question and answer, so it's meant to be interactive session. What do we really eat our children for, or what do we really yell at them for? So I want response in the comment section. Thank you for making it interactive so far. So what do we really correct them? Like, I want to correct my child. I want to discipline them. Like, I just want to eat this child. What do we really want to correct them for? I really want to know, like, what do we want to correct them for? Or what are they really doing that really that really goes to the point of really yelling at them or trying to eat them? Yes. For me, part of what I really that would say I want to correct them for, maybe what that I struggled with. Like I said, I started without knowledge, and I will tell you it wasn't funny. Without going on this journey without knowledge it's frustrating. It's a lot of work. When they disobey, okay, thank you for that response. Sometimes it's our frustrations. God bless you. Then I remember that maybe ordinary spilling water. But at that time, I realized that you can see it's not a child. A child spills water. or he spills milk, or he spills the food he's trying to eat, or he's not eating properly. And as parents, we decide to just, I want to eat this child. I think these are the things I was eating them for. Is that the problem of a child? And if I decide to eat while I was eating the child or yelling at the child, why would you spill this? I don't think it has ever worked. So oftentimes what I have seen is it is our mood. I was making an example in was it the ditch yelling course that we had, and I was saying if you just, let's say you won a visa lottery or you won something, you were given some amount of money, and your child spills, thank you for joining, and your child spills the same milk or disobey, how would you, the way you're going to react is going to be different from the way maybe you're frustrated after so a long day, or you had disagreement with your boss at work and you just go back and you see your child disobeying your rules. The way you're going to react is going to be different from the way you're going to react when you're given a visa or you're just blessed with something. So that should tell us as parents that our response is based on our situation or how we chose to react. And that is what this conscious parenting platform is out there to help us. Thank you so much for joining me. So to help us as parents, to keep us as parents on how to respond better. Children, I heard, yes, I saw a response from a parent that says when they disobey, like disobey the rules. So, and that is why we are here today, to get better strategies to discipline our children. So thank you so much. Hi sis, thank you for joining me. So one of the things that made me that I'm sure I'm called to do at this times in this generation is to help children and speak up for them, and also equip us as parents on how to do this journey better, how to give our journey the best, how to be of great advantage to our children. At times when we look around us as parents, truly even around us as grown-ups, as adults, you see that even in marriages, you see that people are not just, they're not empathic. You see, I heard of a story of two grown-ups. I've shared this before, fighting over, I was supposed to park in this is my space for parking, like my parking lot. That is your other side. And they couldn't handle it with wisdom. And it resulted into one killing the other and the other going to jail. We see, when you look at around us as parents, when you look around our community, our country, you see people mean. We see them trying to just gain things for themselves. They don't care about how others feel. We see non-empathy just around us everywhere. And at times I wonder, is this how God really created everyone? And that is why I came to the conclusion that everyone is a product of who raised them. No one is created to hurt the other person. Children are born as bare, as just open as possible. It is whatever we have modeled to them that we see. So everyone out there is a product of what has been modeled to them, what they've learned so far, what has been shown to them consciously or unconsciously. So when your child does a mistake and the way to respond to them is by eating them or yelling at them, that is what they are going to give back as well when they are not pleased with any situation. And that is why times in our country, most African countries, we see that we can't even resolve conflicts by communication. We just want to turn it into disagreement. We want to fight it. We just want to make things worse because we're not trained to respond to things by communicating, by coming to an agreement. We're not taught how to problem solve. We just want to make everyone go on their way and just resolve it in a way that is not healthy. That is what has been modeled to everyone out there. And because we are so conscious on the kind of generations we want to raise, because we want to become an advantage to them, we need to do it better. We need to be conscious of our responses, how we relate to our children. Our children are going to give back to us what they see us do. At some point, what made me go out to start searching for courses that made me learn on this journey is because I saw that my first child, while I was trying to, any small mistake I eat, just with my hand, I realized that it was kind of withdrawing. Then the second one was trying to fight back. Like I can't take this. I want to fight back. And I saw him doing the same thing to uh, his brothers. So I knew there was, this is just what I've been modeling to them. And I will have to just tell myself the truth and just equip myself with knowledge. So there is a better way to help our children to obey. When they disobey, the next thing for us to help them, one of the goal of discipline is to help you raise a responsible child, help you raise a child that is self-disciplined, that can lead themselves. So I don't think yelling, eating a child, or other corporal punishments will help us achieve that. And that is what we are here to do today, to learn the strategies that will help us discipline these children effectively. So I wrote some things down, and I would love to share with us that before we even go into the strategies that will help us discipline these children effectively, just to open our eyes with like what I discussed in Ditch Yelling for Good Cause, what yelling, other corporal punishment does to a child. Like I said, from my experience and from the parents I've worked with, it helps the child to be fearful. That is what it does to a child. A child becomes fearful, withdrawn, full of anxiety. Like they're expecting any mistake, they will expect you to eat them, because that is what has been modeled to them. That is what has that is the way the parent has communicated to them. So they are always fearful, and that results in low self-esteem. And no, we don't want that for our children. And like I made example at first, regardless of what your child does, your responses depends on how you feel at that time, and your situation. So at times it's never the problem of the child, it is how we chose to respond to the child's mistakes. And of a truth, it takes 25 years for a brain to fully develop. And when the Bible even told us that foolishness abounds in the heart of a child, that is telling us that childishness is being childhood is a stage of like childishness, and that's foolishness. You can't expect them to just come to the world and start knowing what to do or start cleaning up after themselves if you haven't trained them. And like I will always say, we react oftentimes, not responding to them, because they are returning back to us what we have modeled to them unconsciously or consciously. So we want to fight them because they are doing to us what we have modeled to them. So it is never the problem of the child. It is what we need to work on as parents. So also it models aggressive behavior. There is no way you want to get what you haven't modeled to your child. Whatever we are seeing on our journey is what has been modeled to the child. So please, parent, like I always say, I'm speaking up for your children. Children they are not born to frustrate you. I saw a quote one day that whatever you see in your child is only calling for your help. So whatever we see on our journey, whatever your child is doing to you, it's a time for us to sit back and just look at, okay, is this me? Because most of the time, whatever you see in your child is either it's you or your spouse. And when you think it's gene, even the gene, the trait is from both couples that produce the child. So, and I've realized that even when a child is behaving aggressively or in a different way, it's not calling for us to add to it. It's just calling for us to check ourselves as parents and sit back and discuss on, how do I help this child? How do I help this child? How do I help this child? So thank you. How did you reverse the issue of anxiety in your child? Okay, yes, I will come to this. Please let me quickly share with us. Yes, I will come to it. And whatever I see, my child is calling for my help. Yes, thank you so much for that. Whatever we are seeing on our journey is not a time to react. And oftentimes I see that we react because I've been there. I react to whatever I'm saying. And when I sit back to think about it, it is what I've modeled to them. When I realize that this is not getting funny anymore, I have to just search for knowledge and equip myself with knowledge to know how to respond in a responsible way. My child becomes responsible in the way they communicate when I become responsible as parents. My child knows how to be empathic when I respond to them with empathy. My child knows how to cooperate with others, knows how to take care of their siblings when I decide to show them how it is done. So children are not born to frustrate us. They are only learning from the environment we've created for them. They are learning from what we do daily. So aside the low self-esteem, the anxiety, the aggressive behavior, We have difficulty in expressing themselves. They won't want to talk to you, parent. When we look at our generation, you see that oftentimes you see parents not having close relationship with their children. They will always call, but this connection is not there. Because you get that's why you see that even when you've been to hospitals, that you see young children bringing their parents to hospital and still complaining that you just had to, like, talking to them as if they never had a relationship with them. That is what has been modeled to them. Parents, we can't get what we have modeled to these children. At times I look at some situations where you see in a state that parents can't help themselves, the children are not there to help, or the children they just want them to get up and just get ill in time. It's not done. We need to model empathy to our children for us to get them to be empathic. And truly, an empathic child is what will be a solution provider to their world. So please, let's do better and work on ourselves and learn and use the strategies I will be sharing with us tonight. It has worked for me. It has worked with many parents I've shared with, and there has been testimonies. So it also increases depression. I know at times you hear this also person commits suicide, this young adult commits suicide. It all stems from somewhere. Because I believe that if there is an adult to open up to, an adult to talk to share things with, I have a parent that I can easily connect with. I'm getting frustrated at work. I can easily go back to my parent and talk to them that, yes, this also is happening. Or if I have siblings around that, yes, I'm really frustrated at work, I can open up to someone. But I realize that our generation, our present generation, there is no close relationship with parents. We just want to fulfill all righteousness by just calling them or just reaching out to them. There is no close connection. We don't have this communication. This part of parenting, communicating with parents, is not there. And because we want to be an advantage to our children, and because we want to do our best raising the next generation, we've got to prioritize our relationship with our children. So this yelling, other corporal punishments it causes depression. Then also it affects the parent-child relationship. Parents, it causes resentment. Like there's a favorite quote that you need to connect to correct your child. If you're not connecting, what it does is it helps you, makes a child rebel. You just want to, there's no connection. You don't have time for your children. You get back from work, you're already tired. Your children are longing to get your attention. You're complaining. At times when you're coming from work, because you're tensed, you're saying, of course you get irritated with whatever mess they are making. And they are children, they will make a mess. It is in the mess that they will learn how to do better. So it is our response, it is our duty as parents to, okay, it is our duty as parents to do better, please. It's our duty as parents to show them how it is done. And remember, it takes 25 years for a brain to fully develop. Parents, I'm speaking up for those that have been entrusted in your care. And maybe we need to remind ourselves that these children are not, they are my own. They are not your own. They're just entrusted to your care to take care of them. And you're going to give account of it. Maybe we need to talk to ourselves, because I see that, I still see some parents trying to use the Bible to quote that, yes, the rod. What is the rod? What is the rod? And I know we forget the part that says, slow to speak, slow to get angry. So it's not just the couple relationship or your friendship out there that needs you to be slow to get angry. Even your parent-child relationship, they need you to be slow with them, be patient with them. And if there's any virtue you need on this journey, is the virtue of patience. You need it, because even at this, with the knowledge I have, I still have my children of 7 making mess. None of the child wants to just willingly do chores at times, except they are used to it. So there is a way to get them to do their chores. There is a way to get them to comply with your rules, with your values at home. You don't get things done by being aggressive. You're only modeling to them that, yes, the best way to resolve a situation is by being aggressive, and they will return it back to you, because that is what you're modeling to them. So how do we begin to discipline effectively? And beyond all that I've mentioned, we also have health problems. There's a way yelling, when you begin to yell at your child, especially when they're still very young, there's a way it changes the structure of a child's brain. At some point during Ditch Yelling for Good, I made a conclusion that yelling eating or other form of corporal punishment is just like giving your child a poison, because of the damage it does to the structure of a child's brain, because of the way it's wired them to be aggressive, to be not empathic. I really mean, if there's anything, any skill you want to teach your child, is this skill of empathy. And you don't teach empathy by just speaking to them. You teach it by the way you model, react to their mistakes by what you do around them. So please, parents, let's do better. Let's have knowledge. Let's unlearn, and let's do the work. Aside getting more knowledge, there is a need for us to put them to work. So I've got some questions. I'm going to take them. Okay, whatever I see in my child, okay, this is so true. Please share ways to connect. Okay, so we are going into that. And I have a question here. It says, how do you handle cases where both parents use different disciplinary style, which can confuse the child? Yes, let me quickly take that. That is where our communication as couple comes in. Whatever we want to do, whatever we want to, whichever way we want to discipline our children, we should discuss it first as couple. You know, I realized that obviously couples, different partners, were coming from different backgrounds, raised different in a different ways. And yes, of a truth, our generation as parents needs a lot of, I won't say refurbishment. Like, we need a lot of knowledge, we need a lot of unlearning. Then, so to answer that question, you need to agree on how you want to correct your child. And if you think your spouse is not ready to cooperate, one of the things I have done is to get a book, and just in a way, fun way, not trying to be pushy. You suggest you reading it together, talk about it, discuss about the book that you know will be of help. And that is where you begin to come to an agreement on how to raise these children and discipline them effectively. Because if you don't, you know, when I first started my journey, when I first started acquiring knowledge, I wanted to push everything to my husband that, no, this is how we should do it. You just have to do it this way. I realized that I was having concern. I was having issues with my, I was having issues with my relationship with my husband. So you don't just, whatever you have acquired as maybe as the wife or as the husband, you don't just push it to your spouse and expect them to just accept it like that. No, there is a way to make them cooperate with you. And one of it is read books together, talk about it. That is where your communication comes in. You have to agree as a couple. Yes, you have to agree as a couple. Then you push it out. This is what we do. Then oftentimes, since discipline is teaching, you have your family meetings. You talk about, this is what is allowed in your home. This is what we stand for. I'm going to be sharing some of that as we go further. So that is where we need to agree as couple. There's no way we want to give different disciplinary strategy. We're going to confuse our children. So let's go to, how then do we discipline effectively? We don't want to yell. We don't want to eat. It's detrimental to our children's health. So how then do we discipline? The strategies are, the first thing I will talk about is connection. Connection. Please, someone should help me put that in the comment section. Connection. Yes. There's no way you want to discipline a child without connecting with the child. Connection. Yes. And I saw a question. Yes, I'm still coming to part of what I'm going to be discussing. The how to discipline effectively is going to answer the question of how do you reverse the issue of anxiety in your child. So, but the other question says, okay, so please share ways to connect. Thank you so much for your responses. Thank you for making it fun today. Thank you. So connections. How do I connect with my child? You know, with the word is connection. It's just trying to build up and strengthen your relationship with your child. And there are several ways you can connect with your child. Reading with your child is a way to connect. Putting them on your lap, reading to them, reading loud to them, playing with them. Children love play. Children love play. And I'm still going to share something that talks about your child is busy playing with some things, and you want them to just move to another thing. Maybe it's dinner time. You're trying to get their attention. And part of the things I see as that we complain that, yes, these children are disobeying. Let's take, for instance, as parents, you're seeing a movie and you just have someone that comes in to interrupt and says, please, I need you to follow me, just like that. You know, it will take you time to pause and get yourself relaxed before you respond. That's the same thing with our children. You want them to move from what they are doing to the next thing, like transitioning from one thing to the other. Children they don't easily respond to transitions. They fight it at times. And that is where we come in as parents and say they are disobeying. So one thing I would love to share as regards that is that instead of just coming and telling them it's time for you to get up to move to dinner time, you can as well give them some minutes ahead. It's dinner time in 5 minutes, so I'm going to set, you can put the timer in place. Yes, use the timer. I'm going to put the timer in place for 5 minutes more to get ready for dinner. That way you're setting your child up for success. You're not just picking them up and say, yes, it's time for you to move. Your child is going to fight that. The same way we won't be okay with someone just coming to interrupt what we are doing and expect us to just follow suit. It's not done. So, and that's why I said there's no way you want to raise a child that you don't know a thing about. There's no way to raise a dog without having to know how to communicate to a dog. And that's the same way. There's no way you want to raise a child wholesomely without having to know what language children understand. At times, even when you're trying to get them to quickly clean up their toys, I see us as parents will come in and say, yeah, you need to clean up your toys now. Now. How is that done, parents? Okay, one of the things I would say is, aside giving them time ahead, you can also say, let's see if you can clean up these toys in 2 minutes. Maybe after the 5 minutes is over. So let's see if you can clean up this in 2 minutes. They love play. They want to play. They want to play with things. So when you do that, you're making fun out of what you're doing. You're communicating what you want to them and still helping them to enjoy it. Those are ways to help your child and be of advantage to them. So like I was saying, connection. How do you connect with your child? Spend quality time with them. Thank you for joining. So spend quality time with them. Take them, go for a walk together, play with your child. I know we have busy moms, we have busy dads. So even when you get back from work, do you have time every day to connect with them? I have a guide. It's a free guide that talks about the ultimate structure guide for the home. That is to help you build structure around your home. In that structure guide, I have family time every day. So there should be a time you connect together as families. There should be a time you connect together as parent and children, where you talk, ask them about their day. It could be just schedule. Some days could be reading days, another day could be playing board games, another day could be maybe taking a walk if there's still time, if it's not dark. So different things you can do with your child. Watch movies with them, watch their favorite programs with them. So different ways you can connect with your child. So please hope I answered the question of how you can connect with your child. Just play with them, do what they love with them, play games with them, read with them, read to them. Let them read for you, let them talk to you. Listening, that's part of connection. Listening to your child. Don't let's get too busy not to listen to our children. If you don't give them listening ears, they will follow suit with anyone that is giving them the listening ears outside. So please, let's create time. Thank you. So let's create time for our children. There's no way you want to connect with your child without creating time for them. And I've seen that we claim we love our children. I just want to discipline them. How do you say you love someone you don't create time for? It's not done. You love your child. One of the ways to show that you love them is creating time for them. And what that does to them is it makes them feel valued, that yes, this person has my time. That means I'm well appreciated. And let me tell you one incident of I had the opportunity of having a young girl. She's of maybe 8, and at some point she was telling me it was she was crying at some point. So she said the last time she knows that she behaved properly was when she was 2. That after the 2 years old, she knows that she has not been behaving well. She's not good enough. She's not doing things well. And this result, I asked, why did you say that? And she said, because they are always beating her or yelling at her. And that is what happens when you would choose to keep eating your child, or you choose to keep yelling at them. They won't hate you as a parent. You might not even notice it. What that does to them is it helps them hate themselves. It just helps them see themselves as not good enough. So, but when you give them your time, when you have quality time with them, when you connect with them, it helps a child to feel loved. It helps a child to feel valued. And when that's one of the ways to raise a confident child. Make your presence count. Be present to connect and spend time with them. So another one is set clear expectations. How do we discipline our children effectively? The first one is connection. Connect with your child. Connect. How do I say? Children love attention. So whoever is giving them the attention is willing their heart. And like the 2 sessions we have, some parenting o'clock ago, we have someone coming to share with us about that even those that want to defile your child, they come first to connect with them. So whoever is connecting with them is the one that is getting their attention. And the one that is getting their attention is who they are willing to cooperate with, to obey. So if you're struggling with your child is not obeying your rules, your child is not doing this, please start by connecting with your child. A well-connected child will gladly obey your rules. We always want to cooperate with you. We always want to be around you. Just something happened yesterday. I wasn't happy with what my second son was doing, and I heard both of them saying, "Mommy, please calm down, calm down." Mommy, please, like, try and take a deep breath, because that's what I use for them. It's okay to be hungry. You know, at times we see ourselves as parents, we don't want our children to be hungry. It's also an emotion. The same way we have being happy or sad, we have anger as an emotion. So it's okay to be hungry, but what you do with them is what counts. So I am getting hungry, I get angry, I get irritated or angry at what my child does at times. But what I do with my emotion at that time is what counts. So even when they are getting angry, they are trying to yell at each other, or they're not happy with, and of a truth, they won't play with each other all the time. At times, children get tired of playing with one another. You can't expect your children to play with one another all the time. At times, they get sick of playing, they just want to play alone. Allow it. And when you see them playing together, celebrate their effort for playing together. You don't complain about you're not playing together. You're not always being with your brother. Let's see things from their perspective as well. So connect. Yes, connect with your child. A well-connected child will cooperate with you, parents. So the second one is set clear expectations. Oftentimes, I see that as parents, we assume a lot. We expect our child, our 2-year-old, to know how to do some things. We expect our 4-year-old to know how to do some things that you should know by now. Let's stop the assumptions and let them know what is expected of them. Let them know what they are meant to do part time, and that's putting structures in place. Everything that works on principles. Everything that works on structure. So let's put structures in place as parents. Put your structure in place. Let them know this is what we do so time. And if you don't do it, I'm going to the next one. There is consequence for it. So we are looking at ways to discipline our children effectively. We've talked about connect with your children. The second one, set clear expectations. That's your schedule. Put schedules, put routines at home. Let them know this is what we do by this time. So the third one is consequence. Put consequence in place. Let them know that if you're unable to pack your toys, that means you're saying you don't want to play with it, the whatever, maybe it's the building blocks. That means you're saying you don't want to play with the building blocks another time. So those are ways you're setting your child up for success. Your ways to discipline a child. Put consequence in place. You spill milk, you spill water, please get up and clean it up. So when a child sees that is the one cleaning up, the mess will reduce. And please, there's no magic wand on this journey. Whatever you're teaching them, whatever structure you're putting in place, it takes time to work. It takes time to change an habit. So give it time. Just keep being consistent with your consequence. You spill this, you're going to clean it up. Even if you're crying, you're still going to do it yourself. That way, they will learn to keep their things tidy. They will learn to keep their space tidy. So please let me know if you're still following me. Thank you. Okay. Yes, I've talked about consequence. I've talked about setting clear expectations, letting them know what's expected of them, connect with them. And the other one I want to talk about is positive reinforcement. Catch your child doing what is right and celebrate their effort for it. Like I said, when you see them playing together as brothers, celebrate them for it. We've talked about connection. We've talked about setting structures, putting clear expectations in place. We've talked about putting consequence in place. And the fourth one I'm talking about is positive reinforcement. Catch your child doing what is right and celebrate them for it. Celebrate their effort in doing what is good. Let them know that you're seeing them doing what is right. And whatever you celebrate, parents, that's children for you. They want to keep doing that same thing because they know you're pleased with it. So catch them doing what is right. catch them arranging their toys, telling them, oh, I love the way you just put your things in place. That's great. You're setting them to want to repeat the same actions instead of just being available or always saying them when they are making mistakes. And of a truth, whatever we pay attention to is what grows. When they know that this misbehavior is what is getting your attention, they will keep doing it. It's just normal. So rather than paying more attention to what they are doing wrong, please pay more attention to what they are doing right. And you see them doing it, and other things that you're complaining about also will fall in place. So another one is model good behavior. Yes. Parents, I know we want to correct them, we want them to obey. We don't want them to yell at each other. We don't want them to bully one another as siblings. How are we correcting our children? How are we correcting our children? So model good behavior, model what you want to see as parents. Then another one I will talk about is timeout. Another, you can as well use it. I use it with timeout or timing. Timing is you sitting with them. Children will make mistakes. It's normal. When you see them yelling, and that's why you're setting your clear expectation is key. Let them know what is expected of them. In this home, we don't yell at each other. In this home, we don't eat because hands are not for eating. So when you see one eating each other, the other person, tell them that's what the timeout is meant for. When you notice any aggressive behavior, send them to the timeout. It's not a closed room, a dark room. It could just be, I created a small space just in this living room. It's just a seat that is isolated where they can sit. I notice you're not going by with our values. Please sit, send them to the timeout session, to the chair. Let them sit without, don't communicate with them, and set time for them. Maybe for a 5-year-old, you can set 5 minutes timeout just to sit alone without anyone talking to him, just to feel remorse of what he's doing. And after that, you communicate with him or her what he or she has done wrong that made him or her go to the timeout chair. With that, they will, yes, I call it aside the time, I call it a calm time chair in my home. I call it a calm time chair. So you can give it any name, just make them understand what is meant for. When I notice you're not behaving in a proper way, I'm going to send you to the timeout chair. Or you tell, I'm going to send you to the calm time chair. So I use different words just to communicate what I mean. So with that, when your child sees that you keep doing that, and consistency is key on your journey as parents. If you're feeling happy today and you chose to relax with your rules, your children knows. And when you chose to be strict with it today, they know. So be consistent with whatever you're doing. With that, that is when they get used to it and know that, yes, these rules, these values in our home, it's no joke. This is what we are meant to be doing. And that is how your child will understand what they are meant to do. So, yes, timing is when the child is just crying unnecessarily, doing things you're not pleased with. You can sit with them just to make sure they are calm first. And that's showing empathy. There's this code I use that whenever your child does something, if you don't want to you get angry, you get irritated with things. One of the things that will help you as parents is to practice self-talk. My child is doing something wrong, talk to yourself before you react, please, parents. When the Bible says slow to speak, slow to get angry, it's of a truth. On this parenting journey, you need to learn to be slow to get angry, slow to respond. So, well, there's some things you need to respond immediately, but there are a lot of things, majorly, you need to just think before you react. So at times when they're just crying, they just need to hold them. That's timing. You sit with them and let them take a deep breath to calm themselves down. You talk about it. That is timing. So the timeout is sending them to, because they did something wrong, send them to the timeout chair and let them feel remorse about what they've done. And after the time you've set for them, let them understand what they have done and how that is going to help them. So I have a question here. As a way of discipline, I told my kids I would take, or $1 out of their allowances if they don't make their beds or wash dishes. They told me to spank them instead. Yeah, I think the idea of withdrawal of something is okay, and maybe you've been spanking them before. They don't want, so that means they don't really appreciate what's they're taking out of $1. So I think since they don't like it, please stick to it. That will help them cooperate more. You know, at times when a child is doing something and he knows that this one, it's no, I can easily, it's nothing. They'll keep doing the same thing. But whatever will cost them, that's what you should go for, like logical consequences or reasonable consequence or natural consequence at times. So that is what you should use. So we've talked about timeout. Then give choices. When you have toddlers, your toddler will tell you, I don't want to wear this. This is not time for us to shout at them or eat them that this is what you must wear. That way we're just trying to control a child, and we're trying to kill the uh, independence in a child. Every child is born with this curiosity. They want to explore. They are independent. But how we raise them and what we do to them is what helps them to be dependent. And that is not a great idea for us on our journey. So give them choices. You want them to wear a clothes, you can give them the choice. Just bring out 2 clothes. Which will you prefer to wear? So with that, they have just within this choice to pick. But when you're trying to impose one on them, at times you see the children crying. And yes, your child will cry for what doesn't make sense to you as parents. So it doesn't have to make sense to you as a parent because they are children. And that's what the Bible says, foolishness abounds in the heart of a child, because they will cry for what doesn't make sense. So it doesn't have to make sense to you, parents. All you just have to do is to discipline them the right way, show them what should be done, and practice empathy. Empathy, parent, is key on our journey. So be patient, empathic, and yes, practice empathy, parents. That's one of the key a tool you need on your journey. Yes, yeah, yes, it doesn't make sense. You see them crying for what's, well, it doesn't make sense really, and that's why they are children. So it's childhood is for being a child, adulthood is for being an adult. So we need to stay in our position as an adult and respond to them as a adult. You know, when you throw tantrums, when you're yelling at them and shouting, you're also throwing tantrums as parents. So, and that's, if you keep modeling that to them, they'll keep doing the same thing because they don't have anything else to offer, because that is what they have seen you do often. So please, parent, let's do better. My daughter reminded me one day that she's 8 and not 13. So really, we've got to do better, parents. So like I said, give them heads up. I've talked about that too. You're going to be rounding up this in the next 5 minutes. Let me set the time and remind them it's 5 minutes more. That way you're helping them to cooperate more. You're just creating peace for yourself, because parenting it's hard on its own. So you're trying to make things easy and raise awesome children, not damaged children. Yelling, eating hurts. It damages a child. It doesn't empower a child. So one of the ways to become an advantage to them is to discipline them effectively. And just let me do a recap. We've talked about how to discipline our children effectively. Connect with your child. Spend time with them. Anyone you love, one of the evidence you know you love someone is spending quality time with them, doing what they love with them. Just be creative around them. Bring things, maybe you want to paint together, you want to arrange puzzles, Legos together. Please do it with them. Do it with them. Let them know you're there. Even if it's things they want to do on their own, just be present. Be doing your thing while you're there, watching them. And there's no way you want to raise awesome children when you're not there. It is when you're there, you notice what they are doing wrong, that you want to correct, that you need to think through on how to help them through it. Maybe they are using some languages they learned from school. It is when you're there, you notice what the language you're using and how to help them, to teach them the right language. Whatever we are seeing on our journey, like I said, is only calling for our help. It's calling for us to help, help, help. It's not calling for us to just react. It's calling for us to respond, to give them the better ways, better options than whatever they are doing that is wrong. So connection, put your structure in place, parents. Let them know by this time, this is what is expected of them. This is what they are meant to do. And when you put structure in place, there's no magic. It takes time for it to work. Just be consistent. You fail to do this, it's going to affect your playtime. Maybe you're not doing your homework at the right time. It's going to affect your playtime. So they know that, and you're consistent with it, they will adjust. So that's discipline. So when you think your child is not obeying, let them know that when you disobey another time, this is the consequence for disobedience. And they will cooperate with time. They might not follow the first time or second time, they will cooperate and adjust to it. So connection, structure, positive reinforcement, consequence, let's catch them doing what is right and celebrate them for it. Consequence, model good behavior, communicate with them. use words to communicate. I know we're not raised to communicate when something is wrong. We just want to fight, we just want to eat. And that's why we have generations full of violence, because we've not been taught how to communicate, how to sit to resolve any concern. We just want to fight it. If you keep doing the same, that's what we're going to keep getting for the next generation. So for us to see a better generation, and the proud of every parent is to see their generation better than theirs. So for us to see a great generation that we all desire to see, there is a need for us to restructure our parenting strategies and do it better. So then the last one is also seek for help. One of the things I've found that shows you you're not weak is asking for help when you need it. I know someone was asking me, I'm trying to get a question, how did I help my child out of being, okay, how did I reverse the issue of anxiety in my child? I started connecting, because that is where everything starts from. You've not been connecting, that's why you see your child misbehaving, and you've not been paying attention to the good part. All of this I shared was what I've started doing. I started creating time for them, connecting, not just putting them on the screen. There should be a limit to screens in your home as well. So connecting with them, communicating with them, asking them about their day, making dinner table fun. That's where we communicate more. Talking about their day, just creating different routines and different things a lot around the home, and giving them words of affirmation all the time. Knowing my child's love language and using it. That way you're building your child's confidence. So a lot to put in place. But just connect. When you connect with your child will feel relaxed with you, and he knows that yes, you're not coming to eat them anymore. Let them know that yes, you've changed. Communicate with them that yes, this is how we're going to be correcting ourselves now. This is what consequence will come in place, not eating anymore. And when you see that I'm trying to let them keep you accountable as well. When they know that mom is trying to get angry, let them remind you that, okay, you said we should remind you of not getting hungry or not eating anymore. And please take a deep, you need to walk away from a sin, please do. So when your child knows that you have changed for good, they will tend to trust you, and they will be more relaxed with you. So the anxiety will be off. Yes, I've tried it and it's worked. It has really worked for me. So it's worked. So that is what we have for today. Please let me know if you have any more question in the I've gotten the questions in the question box. Please, if you have any more questions, let me know. Let me know any comments you want to make. How to discipline our children effectively. And thank you so much for coming tonight. Yes, tonight, every last Thursday, it's Q&A session where we have questions and answers, where we talk together as parents to be of great advantage to our children. So please let me know what you've if there's any question or what you want to add or anything you want to be cleared with as we're rounding up, because it's 1 hour already. And thank you so much, everyone that joined. Thank you. And for everyone that will be catching replay as well. And all our videos, our Parenting O'Clock, are also on our YouTube channel, so you can do well to check them. Our past Parenting O'Clock, they're on the YouTube channel. Just do well to check and how to what you know on your journey and unlearn a lot. There's a lot to unlearn for our generation. So please do well to check how to your learning and unlearn. So thank you so much. If there's no more question, another one in the question box. Okay. So thank you so much for joining me today. I sincerely appreciate everyone. Parenting O'Clock holds every Thursday by 7. It was formerly 8, but the time changed here, so we needed to move it back to 7. So it's 7 currently p.m. for West African time and 2 p.m. Eastern time. So do well to join us every Thursday to equip ourselves with great tools in helping our children and raising them awesomely. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you need to catch replay, please do well to catch replay as well. If you need to send to a friend, share. Please do well to share, and let's raise the great generation together. So have an amazing night rest, parents. Thank you so much. I celebrate everyone in here today. Thank you for making it fun today. Thank you so much. Good night. Have an amazing night rest. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. Have an amazing night rest. And please ask if there's need for help, feel free to DM. It's okay. It's strength that shows you're asking for help. That's part of being confident, and it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength for asking for help, which is very okay. Yeah. Thank you. So good night. Thank you so much.